China has invested over $1 trillion in the past decade to secure crucial resources for the impending technology, energy, and transport revolutions in Africa, pushing the US to make moves to reclaim its position on the continent. The stage is set for a strategic showdown as the US aims to counterbalance China's influence and secure its share of the Central African Copperbelt's bounty. We will dive into this in a second. Take a moment to like the video and hit the subscribe button below. Kindly share with friends so they know what is happening in Africa. In the vast expanse of Central Africa, a rickety train clatters through the landscapes of Zambia and Angola. This symbolizes a pivotal moment in the global power play for Africa's rich natural resources. At the heart of this unfolding drama is the Central African Copperbelt, a region that has become a battleground for influence between two economic giants, China and the United States. In Chililabombwe, where the American company Kobold Metals operates a copper project, challenging the dominance of Chinese companies in the region. Backed by heavyweights like Bill Gates and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Kobold Metals aims to prove that it can rival, if not surpass China in sourcing essential metals, such as cobalt and copper, crucial for the global transition to renewable energy. However, extracting these metals is only the first challenge. Benguela Railway, with its 120-year history, plays a critical role in transporting these valuable resources from the mines to the ports, where they can be shipped to consumers in Europe and the US. This historic railway, once pivotal for the United States during the Manhattan Project, has seen a recent resurgence with plans for refurbishment. The Benguela Railway is a 1,200-mile line that runs from Kolwezi in the Democratic Republic of Congo to the port of Lobito in Angola. It was originally built by the British and Portuguese in the early 1900s, but was largely destroyed during Angola's civil war. In 2010, the Angolan government signed a contract with a Chinese state railway company to rebuild the line at an estimated cost of about $2 billion. The line was reopened in 2014, and is now used to transport copper, cobalt, and other minerals from the Central African Copperbelt to the coast. In 2022, the US government announced that it would invest $250 million in the refurbishment of the Benguela Railway. This is part of the Biden administration's broader initiative to compete with China in Africa. The US investment in the Benguela Railway is a sign that the US is finally taking Africa seriously. For too long, the US has neglected Africa, allowing China to gain a foothold on the continent. But now, the US is realizing that Africa is too important to ignore. The backdrop to this struggle for influence is China's Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure program that has reshaped landscapes and economies. As China's economic slowdown leads to a more selective approach in lending, the US and the G7 seize the opportunity to compete. Their $600 billion investment pledge in middle and low-income countries over 5 years signals a renewed commitment to Africa. President Joe Biden's administration unveils ambitious plans to refurbish the Benguela Railway, with a significant financial commitment from the US and its allies. While the investment is substantial, it remains a fraction of China's past decade of engagement in the continent, emphasizing the need for the US to scale up and match China's pace. The biggest question for African countries is not about what the US or China are getting out of Africa. The biggest question is, what are African countries getting out of their relationship with the US and China, and is that delivering development? Can African countries use the competition between the US and China to their advantage, and demand investment in local manufacturing and development? Let us know in the comments section below.